Hey guys, it's Kara. I'm gonna do a tag today. I saw Katie at Effusions of Wit do the book habits tag. She didn't tag me personally, but I think she did one of those, if whoever wants to do the tag can do the tag. So I'm gonna do the tag. I haven't done a tag for a long time, so here we go with the reading habits tag. The first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? I don't really have a certain place. I will read wherever. I read in bed, I read on the couch. The living room, I guess, is probably my favorite place in general. The second question is bookmark or random piece of paper, and I actually have a huge bookmark collection. I'll hold it up for you guys. These are all bookmarks that I've collected throughout the years. I don't really use them really anymore. I just actually found these the other day. I typically will use the receipt from the library because I get a lot of library books or just whatever's laying around, but I do have bookmarks, I guess, if I feel like using them. I have a couple cool Harry Potter ones, but yeah, generally a piece of paper, but maybe I should utilize the collection that I have had. Third question is, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain number of pages? It doesn't super really bother me to stop in the middle of a chapter if I have to, but I guess most people probably like to go to the end of the chapter just because it's sort of a natural place in the narrative to take a break. I think that's why authors write like that in chapters. I don't know, that's sort of my thought on that, but yeah, I'd rather read to the end of the chapter, but it doesn't really bother me to stop wherever. The fourth question is, do you eat or drink while reading? I find it really difficult to multitask at the level of eating and reading, but drinking and reading is fine. A lot of times I forget about what I'm drinking. If I make tea or whatever, it goes cold, but I can drink and read. I do not eat and read. Fifth question is multitasking, music or TV while reading. I have done that before. I can do it okay. A lot of times if my family is watching something I don't really care about, I'll sit there and read. I'd rather have silence. Music is okay, but I generally don't choose to listen to music. Quiet is the best I've found. Sixth question is one book at a time or several at once. And I used to read, I feel like 4 or 5 books at a time, but it's just sort of confusing. The narratives kind of tangle if I'm reading a lot of fiction, a lot of novels at the same time. Generally, now I will read 1 or 2, possibly 3 books at once, but they need to be very different. I can easily do a nonfiction book and a fiction book at the same time because they're very, very different. So yeah, 2 books I think is probably my average reading at one time, because I will often read something non-fictional and something fictional, or 2 novels of very different genres doesn't bother me either. Question number 7 is reading at home or everywhere. Like, I don't have a favorite place at home. I can really also read anywhere, not just at home. I generally do a lot of my reading at home because I spend a lot of time at home, but I can read anywhere. I like to read outside if it's nice out. I like to read in public if I have to wait somewhere. I have a book with me, but I do most of my reading at home. Question number 8 is, do you read out loud or silently in your head? I think probably most people read silently in their head unless they're reading to someone. And that is the case with me. I read in my head. Often, lately, I've been thinking it'd be fun to read out loud, but I don't have any little siblings or little cousins. My 24-year-old brother said I could read to him, but that seems kind of weird. So yeah, for now, I do all of my reading silently in my head. Question number 9 is, do you read ahead or even skip pages? I do not read ahead. I have friends that will go to the last page of a book and read it first to see if it's worth reading the whole thing, but I think that ruins the whole experience, so I'd never do that. I do have a problem with reading ahead on the page I'm on. If it's a tense scene or something is about to happen, I find my eyes flicking down to try to see what's coming, but sometimes I actually physically cover the page with my hand so I don't spoil it for myself. So no, I don't intentionally skip pages or read ahead, but I do have problems with sort of peeking to see what's coming. Question number 10 is breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I generally don't break the spine. I don't really have a problem with books that are well loved and used. I think a lot of my books might have broken spines because I got them secondhand. So yeah, it doesn't really get me uptight to have books that are a little bit roughed up, but generally I'm pretty gentle with my books and they don't have broken spines. Question number 11 is, do you write in your books? And the answer is no. I have never written in a book of my own voluntary choosing. I took a class a Shakespeare class last year where the professor required us to write in the margins of our books, which was sort of an interesting experience, and with something like a Shakespeare play, it kind of helped to be able to take notes and to sort of follow along with the action because they're a little bit more difficult to understand. But I've never written in my own books, and I don't think that's something I'll ever do because it's sort of unnecessary. I mean, to write in a novel that you're reading, I don't know. So no, I don't write in my books. And the last question is, who do you tag? And I don't know a lot of people on BookTube. I'm sort of a newbie. So I don't know who to tag, but if you see this and you'd like to do this and you haven't, I would love if you would do it, and I would love if you would tell me that you did it, because I think tags are really fun. I think it's a great way to get to know people on BookTube. It's sort of like a personal, like, oh, tell me what you think about this. So I think they're really fun. So if you do this, or if you have done this, please tell me, and I'd love to watch your video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.